In FPL Gameweek 11, I took an 8-point hit and I sold Bukayo Saka. And now my middling rank has fallen right through the floor and I am in the biggest trouble I have ever been in this game. And it's all my fault. I can blame nobody but myself. And these choices I've making, they all sound good on paper. You make a video in the week, you edit it, you come up with the strategy, you construct a narrative and you convince yourself this madness is sanity. You convince yourself that this alternative approach is going to succeed, where all the veterans of the game, those high profile experienced players, tell you that it will not. But no, you come in new to the scene, new to the YouTube scene, you think you can change the game. You think you can change the basic fundamentals of how FPL is played and how success is achieved in the game. And maybe somebody can, but that somebody is not me. That somebody is not the FPL Nightmare. And I'm in trouble. I'm struggling. I can't deny the ground is squelching under my feet and I'm wearing my work shoes. There's people all around. And this is the situation. I mean, this is how bad it is. I'm not even bothered that there's people around. I'm gonna expose myself here. I'm gonna keep on going in the twilight hours on Remembrance Sunday with the war memorial in the background. You know, I remember the days when I used to be good at this game. I remember the days when I wasn't such an idiot, and part of me wonders, subconsciously, am I doing it for the entertainment value? You know, Nick Triggerlips, good friend of mine, he was in the group chat the other day, yesterday, after the Saka 12-pointer, which I got rid of so I could bring in Jury and Timber for a hit. You know, that cost me, that one move, Saka to Timber for a -4, cost me, what, 15 points? And do you know what Triggerlips said to me? He goes, it's all right, Nightmare. You don't need to worry. You're just doing it for the entertainment anyway. And my words, I felt like it was a dagger to the heart. You know, Nick Triggerlips, one of the most respected players in the game. Yes, he's a controversial character. Yes, he puts his foot in his mouth and he says the wrong thing sometimes to the wrong people. He upsets the apple cart. But me, I am Granny Smith and I am now rolling around on the floor by his words. You do not take the game seriously. You are just in it for the entertainment, and I'm not. That's the worst thing. Like, I'm trying to do well in an entertaining way, but what I am trying to do is do well. And as it stands, I'm just not doing that. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Did you see that? I walked past people and I did not lose my flow. We are learning how to vlog in public, in the dark, in the twilight hours. But now we need to learn how to play this blasted game. And do you know what the frustration is? You know, I wrote 3 books about this game not so long back. And it was about my journey from being a no-mark player to winning the mini league, the League of Gentlemen. It was an ambition. I needed to beat my mates because they were kicking my ass every year. And in the second book, the second series, I did terribly. I was abysmal at the game. And at the end of it, I used to do like an overview, an epilogue kind of thing where I discussed what had went wrong and how I could improve in the future. And this is what I said at the end of book 2. I said, there is one simple reason why I keep losing. The same reason which has killed my chances every season, which I know I need to rectify, and yet I just can't help myself. I am a transfer addict, and I just can't stop taking hit after hit, no matter the devastation it causes. Listen to this. 4 years ago, the tone was set early on with a stupid decision to wildcard in Game Week 3 followed by 24 points of hits in 3 game weeks. Now, back then, it was literally the subsequent weeks. Obviously, this time, in my head, it was different. You know, in my head, this is a different situation because we're, 6, 7, 8, 9 game weeks down the line. Situations have happened. The game has occurred. The story has changed. But history is repeating itself. This is my second season as a YouTuber. And in my first one, in my second season as a writer of the game, this is what happened. A stupid decision to wildcard in game week 3, followed by 24 points of hits in 3 game weeks. And that's exactly what I've done this season. And I don't know what I'm doing. Like I said, by the end of the sequence, I was ranked 4.8 million in the world. Well, I'm not quite at the Black Box As level just yet. But I'm not far off. I'm only messing us. We've got to laugh at ourselves. It was an act of self-harm from which I did not recover. To have any chance of winning this league, I need to change my approach. In that season, in the 16 game weeks I did not take a hit, I rose in the ranks 14 times. Where are we at? We stroll down. And then I concluded by saying, I need to come up with a new master plan. And I came up with that master plan. The master plan to guide me to success. The question is whether I will have the courage to stick with it if things go wrong in the opening game weeks. Well, did I? Nah, I didn't. 2 injuries and a red card, and I'm playing my wild card. If I'd have taken a -12 back then, could have got Semenyo in, Haaland in, and 2 other random midfielders that were doing well, and everything would have been fine. I would have had a wild card to play in the last couple of weeks, and I wouldn't be in this mess. But no, if I revert back to my traditional strategies, I'll end up with my traditional result, and you'll be reading in 12 months about how I regret not sticking with the master plan. It's my only hope of success. I just have to find the courage to see it through. Well, this year, it's the same old story. This is the nightmare story. I know the analysis is accurate. The application is abysmal every time, and now it's starting to rain. I'm out here in my camera. I've not got a raincoat on, me non-waterproof camera, and now it's starting to rain. Just like my season is raining in on me. And it's not good. Luckily, there are some avenues of shelter in this park, and we will take a quick sojourn to one of them. And it's tough. Yesterday I was in a feck. I'm not going to lie, I was in a feck about your man, Bukayo Saka. Look, the thinking behind Saka, there was logic to it. I had Senesi, Gvardiol, Pedro Porro on me in my defence. And we'll get back to my defence shortly, but they were my defence, and I thought, I don't see any of these lot keeping a clean sheet. But can Drury and Timber keep a clean sheet? Well, I think he can. And if he can, he'll outscore these defenders. I don't think he'll keep a clean sheet by 4 points. So that's a hit. And I thought, well, this actually makes sense. And then I thought, well, can Bruno Fernandes, who has matched and beaten Bukayo Saka most game weeks this season, can Bruno Fernandes do it again? And I thought he could. I thought, I read somebody say, oh, Saka's going to struggle this week. Ronaldo's got the pace to nullify him. Well, I thought Sunderland good defence. I actually thought that game would end 0-0. And, well, did end in a draw, just not 0-0. We're in the bandstand now. Ooh, it's echoey a bit. Got to think of the audio quality. So that was me thinking. Saka can be outscored by Fernandes. Timber will outscore the other defenders by 4 points. And it didn't work out like that. Saka got 12 points, Timber got 1. Fernandez got 5 points. Not bad. But, you know, it just didn't work out as planned. And I mean, that's far from the only disaster of the game week. I mean, I'll just bring it up now as I don't like this. The sound feels echoey, so for the sake of video quality, the rain's eased off. Oh, I'm on the squelchy grass. Pope, 3 points. Like, it's frustrating because I took the hit for to replace Vicario with Pope, and I did not need to do that. That was an emotional decision because other people were benefiting from my Newcastle's goalkeeper and I wanted in on the action. It is still raining. Bloody hell. Can't get anything right. So I did that hit, and then I think Vicario's matched or outscored Pope every week since, so that was stupid. Munoz, a bright spark. I thought, you know, Munoz, get him in, 6 points. Well, he's got 6 points, so that's good. He's actually paid off his hit by beating Pedro Porro, so that's fine. That's absolutely fine, except I could have done with the attacking returns because I needed 21 points from him. Never mind. Timber, Gabriel, like, I feel stupid. I feel a bit stupid. I feel a lot stupid, and it's because I've been stupid. Because I was looking at it and I thought, well, Arsenal's defence is killing me every week and my defence is just struggling. So why don't I just split the difference? Saka's not doing anything, and I kind of blame D-Unit for this a little bit because he's gone on and on and on and on and on about Saka recently. Oh, he's not worth it, he's not worth it. But like, I don't know why I'm listening to him. He's doing even worse than me, you know, but it just got in my head. Saka's not doing well, and then Big Andy, let's talk Andy on the old FPL black box late tackle. He spoke so well of Fernandez. Just, you've got him, you don't have to worry about him. 38 game weeks, he'll keep getting the points, play every minute. I thought this makes sense. They're both on penalties. So if Fernandez gets a penalty, this move pays itself. And then, you know, but the problem was I thought Timber, I don't need him. Like, because who've Arsenal got next? Spurs. Then they've got Chelsea. So this is what was stopping me taking the hit. They've got Spurs next. Then they've got Chelsea. Why are you bringing in a defender for those fixtures? It makes no sense. And I knew it. And then for some reason, before the deadline, literally 2 minutes before the deadline, I tweeted out my team. No changes. I'm rolling the transfer. I'm not convinced. And then I just panicked. For some reason, what if I was right? What if the -8? What if the -8 would pay off 20 points? Well, don't I look a fool now? Then we had, I tell you what else about Pope. You know, it's really frustrating. Pope and Dan Burn. Like, I started with double Forest defence. Looks stupid now, but you could see the justification. Murillo and Milenkovic would have been the top 2 scoring defenders last season with the Defcons. So you think, oh, well, we'll go with that. See what happens with this new scoring system. Terrible. So I got rid of them. Got double Newcastle defence. They start conceding all over the parish. And I'm trying not to talk about Eddie Howe today. I'm trying not to talk about my beloved Newcastle because my grandma always said, if you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. And I do. So I brought in double Newcastle, and then they start conceding all over parish. And then this week, surely, double defence of the team that haven't conceded a goal in 8 matches. What happens? Then Mackens, Sunderland, AFC, 2 goals, and Sunderland. Let's be honest. Like, leaving aside club allegiance, which, to be honest, I don't really buy into all that much. If I'm completely honest, all I want is what's best for Newcastle. If Sunderland do well, that's on them. And aren't they doing well? Fair play to them. You know, they're struggling away a bit, but they're going and fighting. They beat Chelsea. You couldn't see Newcastle doing that this season. Can't see Newcastle going away and putting in 100%. It's coming out. But fair play to them. And then they've done Arsenal. 2-2. Great goal by Robbie. And now there goes them defensive points on Boomo, Fernandes. 12 points between them. Lovely. That's great. That is a bit of vindication for bringing them both in. You know, and Boomo's actually paid off the hit now. So assuming Reinders doesn't score more than 2 points today. And so actually that hit's paid off. Obviously kudos to Declan Rice last week. That has more than paid off. Although he only got 2 points. Semenyo, another missed penalty. Well, a missed penalty. Like, doesn't really matter. I'm not going to get wound up about Semenyo because everyone's got him. Except Trigger, who's absolutely crowing today. But it's like, yeah, how many points have you left on the bench, pal? You know, maybe if you'd had Semenyo early, you'd be performing as well as the pubcast landlord, Gary Beer, Dr. Beer. And then Voltemada up front. Like, and fair play to Trig. He didn't get Voltemada, he didn't get Matete, he got Big Ego Thiago. That decision looks wonderful. And Voltemada, look, I love the bloke, very skillful player, but I feel like I've let emotion rule my head in this game. First, the panic of the injuries, and now Newcastle have a couple of decent game weeks, and I rush to take hits to get them all in. And it's just all a load of panic. It's just all stupidity. I feel foolish, and that's because I've been a fool. And I'm man enough to say that. I've been stupid. I've been stupid, and this analysis is not premium analysis because I'm tired. I'm tired of Eddie Howe. Not Eddie Howe, I love the bloke, but like, I've just come out after the Newcastle match and I've watched us go away again. We've been crap in every away game this season, and Eddie Howe has gone away again, picked the exact same team again, with the exact same tactics again, and got the exact same result. You know, it was clear it wasn't working. Half-time, didn't out. Even more clear, after 60 minutes it wasn't working, didn't out. Dan Burns survives a penalty appeal. Probably should have been given. There was contact. He survives the penalty appeal, but he's on a yellow card and he's getting roasted by Dango. So what does Eddie Howe do with one of England's best young left-backs on the bench? He leaves Dan Burn on. And this is no criticism of Dan Burn. It's all about Howe. It's about the tactics. And then he doesn't react. He doesn't change the game. He doesn't influence the game. He leaves Burn on, and then the inevitable happens. And that's the end of Dan Burn. Red card. Penalty kick. And then this is the real kicker. Then he decides to make the changes and he takes off bloody Nick Pope for at least Dan Burns' red card might lead to a penalty save. But no, because Pope gets subbed off before the penalty. So that about sums up my season so far. And oh, it was frustrating. And the problem is nothing changes. You know, next week he's going to go out and it'll be the same team. He'll have Trippier, he'll have Chow, he'll have Botman, he'll have to play Lewis Hall because Burns suspended. He'll have Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonali in midfield, even though they're not the force they were last year. He'll have probably Gordon. But like all of them are crap. 55 million on Alanga, crap. But he's not even been given the chance. I don't know. It's not good. And then he leaves it and leaves it. And only when we're behind, only when the game is gone, does he try and influence proceedings by changing his strategy. You know, we're getting overrun in midfield, so bring on Lewis Miley to keep the ball. But nah, nothing. You know? We're getting pegged back. Bring on Alanga for the counter-attacking pace, but no, he does nothing. Only when the situation has gone does he realise his tactics are completely wrong. And now you see why this affects me so much, because it's a story of my FPL season. You know, FPL is a simple game. You pick a goalkeeper who keeps clean sheets and makes saves. You pick defenders who can keep clean sheets. You pick midfielders who can get assists and score goals. You pick either Haaland or Salah, depending on whichever one is chasing the records that season. And then you pick Brentford striker. You sit back and you watch the points come in. You know, you get your Palace players in because they always overperform. And I've done none of this, you know, done none of it. Steve-O made a great video earlier, mocking me, you know, a bit of fun, good fun. I enjoyed it. Although I don't like him using the word vermin so much, when I don't think I've ever said it in my life, except maybe to refer to the worst of the internet troll. But he made in his mockery, oh, I'm the FPL Nightmare. I'm going to play this game my way. I'm going to do things the Nightmare way. And it cuts to the bone because it's true. And in the parody, we get to the heart of the reality. And the reality is, I've been stupid, you know. You have to earn the right. It's like football. You have to earn the right to play your football. If I want to change FPL, I have to prove I can learn. And I don't really want to change FPL. Like, there's this whole thing going on at the minute, like D-Unit, terrible for it. And like quite a few people, oh, DEFCONs have ruined the game. The game's boring because of DEFCONs, because of auto-captaincy. And it's like, they all loved it last year when they were getting the points with Salah auto-captain every week. You know, oh, why have people got Caicedo? It's all because of the DEFCONs. Well, it's not. It's because, like, I think only two midfielders or three midfielders have scored more goals than him. You know, everyone's got Declan Rice. He's got 2 goals and 4 assists. That's what we want from our midfielders. It's positional snobbery. I said it last week. Positional snobbery. If these players were wingers, wouldn't matter. You know, oh, everyone's got Joachim Anderson. Honest to God, D-Unit and a few others as well. They all go on about Joachim Anderson like he's some sort of FPL pivot point. But he's only owned by 2.9% of players. And he's the 29th highest scoring defender, maybe even lower after this afternoon's games. Like, he's a non-entity. Yet these people who, coincidentally, are all struggling, focus on this change as the reason why they're struggling, the reason why they're not enjoying the game. And they're not enjoying the game because of DEFCONs. They're not enjoying the game because they're not doing very well. And last year they did. And that's all right. We like to do well at games. I like to do well. And I'm just not. And it's my fault, you know. History is repeating itself. The second year of my books, the second year of my videos, exact same. The parallels are ridiculous. And like, I look at the hits. And do you know the funny thing is, the players I've brought in have actually outscored the players I sold. You know, hang on, I worked it out. 37 points my new signings have got, even with Burns' red card. The ones I sold have only got 29. You know, so that's 8-point gain. If it was a wild card, fantastic. But it isn't a wild card. It was a 20-point hit. So that 8-point gain becomes a 12-point loss, plus whatever Reinders scores, which, to be fair, isn't really too bad if I make them points up, like Mbumo did this week, like Rice did last week. You know, if I make the points up, it doesn't matter that I've lost them. But I could have just kept Saka. I could have just done Vardy to Munoz and I'd be buzzing, you know? And this is the problem. I'm trying too hard. I'm forcing it. Because I'm struggling, because I'm down in the depths, I'm starting to try and force it. And You can't do that in this game. You can't, it's all well and good making these entertaining videos. Oh, what if they've all got it wrong? Well, what if they haven't? And what if I'm the one that keeps getting it wrong? Because there's a lot more evidence that suggests they are right than there is that I can play this high-risk strategy and beat them at their own game. And so we're at the international break. And look, I mean, I don't know what my final rank will end up being, because once again, I've come out while the Man City is still playing because of the dying of the day's light. It's a good job I bought this little light for my camera, because now I can see. As it stands, I am 3.94 million. 4 million in the ranks. Plus whatever arises from this Man City game, which... Oh, Haaland -2. Missed penalty. Missed penalty. Do you know what, it's funny? I said to Kanji, he was all stressing about Haaland, I said, don't worry, maybe he'll miss a penalty and then get sent off. Well, he's missed a penalty, so that's something. So I'm actually down to 4.1 million. If I look at the Nightmares Dreamers mini league, somehow still in the top 40, which really is a turn up for the books. But the only people I'm ahead of are my mates, who have all really, we're all letting the side down. Oh, we can take on the best, you know. We can take on the best, and there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. Of the 11 of my mates I brought into this league, 7 of us make up the bottom 9, along with FPL D Unit and Black Box as. You know, the worst thing is, like, I tell you what though, my mate the Ox, 52 points ahead of everyone. He's up to 4.3k in the ranks now. 52 points ahead of your nearest favourite FPL sensei, who had the cojones to join this league. I know FPL Discomfort is ahead of FPL Fran, but he did not want to join for whatever reason. We don't mind. People have the right to say no in this life. But yeah, FPL Discomfort's smashing it, so check him out on the old FPL Double Pivot. Do you know what it is? It's very dark now, so I'm going to turn back so I can get a bit of street light, because I can't see where I'm walking. But yeah, I mean, this video, it's my own fault. I need to change. I need to do things differently. We've got the international break to regroup. Even that branch is starting on me now. But I can tell the branches can't hurt me as much as my own thoughts can hurt me. I need to change. I need to do things differently. We've got 2 weeks, 12 days, 11 days, whatever it is, 2 weeks now to regroup. All is not lost. It isn't. And I'm in a dire situation, let's be honest. 4.1 million, could get lower after 11 game weeks. And this is the worst thing, it's another game week gone by. It's another game week lost to make up ground. But I quite like my team now. I've lost 20 points, but now I think I can save the free hit next week. And will that free hit be worth 20 extra points down the line? We just don't know. Maybe. There is hope there. All is not lost. I do have a much better team now, I think, than I did have 2 game weeks ago. But I could have probably just kept the transfers and had, you know, more points, more transfers, and I'd probably pick different players. Would I bring in Timber this weekend? No. For game week 12, no, I wouldn't. I'd keep Saka. And that stupidity, recklessness has cost me, and I need to stop. If I want to win this game, if I want to get these good ranks and push on for the top, you can't just go from nothing to first. First, you've got to take the steps of the ladder. I need to get the foundations in place, and maybe this season isn't my season of glory. Maybe I did a video last year, game week 15. Maybe your season is in the mud. Maybe it's all gone to pot, but this can be the start of the turning point. This moment can be the start of your greatest season ever, because there's always another season in this game. And I'll be back next year. And now for the rest of this year, I need to play differently. I need to put the fundamentals in place and play good old-fashioned solid FPL. And that's what I need to do. And I need to show the courage I haven't shown. And I need to go with players I don't think are going to do well in a particular game week. I need to plan better. I need to accept that sometimes things won't be ideal. I need to stop trying to force things. I don't know what the ceiling for my season is now. In the back of my mind, thinking if I get a run, bit of momentum, maybe I can get up to 100k, maybe 50k. I don't know if it's unrealistic. As was saying, Mark Southerns a few years back was in a similar position and he ended up 150k. So maybe that's the target. I don't know. The first target is 4 million. The second target is 3 million. And we're going to take it from there, one game week at a time. Praz talked about having these targets for key game weeks. You know, Praz wanted to be 2 million by game week 10, he achieved it. He wanted to be 1 million by game week 18 or something. Will he achieve it? Most likely. Praz is an expert. Praz is elite. I'm not elite. I'm trying to be. I'm not as experienced in the art of solid FPL play. I am the dreamer, the nightmare dreamer himself. I do not play Pep Guardiola control football. I play Kevin Keegan balls to the wall FPL. It is not working. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to have a think. I'm going to come up with a strategy. I'm going to come up with a plan. I might even plan my transfers for 10 game weeks. Who knows? I need something in place that can change the narrative of this season, because I'm embarrassed and I feel foolish and it's all on me. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.